So we open with Kimmy and Maurice. Kimmy's getting little bags together for their trip. She giving out some of her candles. Of course, Kimmy wants everything couples related. What about Destiny? She ain't got nothing to couple up to. Oh God, everybody's got these tiny little cottages. Child, give me a hotel. He really loves this position. He loves to be a parrot. Like, I thought he only loved it when I was standing, but like, he likes it now. However, Maurice tells Kimmy that Marceau doesn't feel like he has a partner. Ooh, they're not even inviting Martel. I love it. Phase him out. Aw, they brought Martel anyway. I have to say, the cabins are cute. Now we got Destiny trying to start shit with Martel. So Martel, you think you being up there with Maurice and Marceau, you think that's not gonna start no mess? You done said all this stuff and everything's gonna... Why are you bringing it up? Oh God, Trish and this damn divorce, I'm tired of it. Well wait, you got the divorce. I guess you had to pay him. Oh God, so now we writing poetry about ourselves and loved ones? Okay, I'll write one for Tisha. Espo, read all about it. My husband's not cheating and I'm gonna shout it. He may be shady and the house is undone, but when it's time to work, he goes on a run. Espo, read all about it. Destiny wrote a poem to herself since nobody's gonna write one about her. Cause that's what happens when you've got the heartstrings, but not the hardware. Marceau actually wrote about Tisha. I can't believe that. Destiny's sitting there with nobody writing about her. Yeah, Marceau's taking up for her now. Oh God, Maurice, you are not a writer, but you trying. Child, just say I love you. The next morning, Kimmy and Maurice discuss the fire pit of the night prior, and they really are feeling for Trish and Ken. However, they're tired of Martel never being able to publicly speak unless he's angry. Now, Will, Ken's friend, has shown up for Destiny. She said I needed another single person as backup. Or did you want somebody to back that thing up to? So the next day, they're going spelunking. Now, this is a cave I could do. There's lighting, there's guardrails, you know the way out. Oh God. So they talk about the history of this cave, and this guy bought it with his life savings and didn't tell his wife. And Marceau said, yeah, this is the only way it's going to get bought. There's no way your wife is going to let you buy a cave. There's going to be too many questions. That's the spontaneity women are looking for when they say they want a spontaneous man. They want a man that's going to buy a cave. That was funny. That was funny. So today the group's going on his and hers boat ride. So all the men start talking about how Trish is sad and how he's going to console her through the divorce. And Ken said, I knew that it wasn't going to be over once the paperwork was signed. And Martel said, I'm still sad about my divorce. Yeah, because Melody was the only good thing in your life. But then Maurice mentions the spinning of the block. Did you know about that? Yes, we've had conversations. I ain't gonna get mad at her at nothing I did. Marceau gonna say, oh, you gotta have a double standard when it comes to that. I know Martel is not saying you don't let her spin the block one time and act like it's okay because then she gonna do it again. You mean like how you cheated on your wife for years and years and she kept taking you back? I guess you would know from experience. Then you finally had a baby and she said enough is enough. Over with the women's, mealy mouth Espo and the heartstrings, not the hardware, are going at it. Espo said, when I was having a problem with Martel, I never told you to pick sides. But when I have an issue with Nell, you gonna tell me I need to take what she give me. Destiny said, look, I've tried to meet her in the middle. I've apologized more times than I've been left. And Tisha said, so you don't feel you did anything wrong? No. Well, I said don't trust that hoe, and that's very disrespectful. The Espo says, well, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, and you're rolling your eyes. What you're saying is eye roll worthy. Well, you took low blows against me. Oh! Espo gonna try to say, well, you said I had friendship Tourette's. That was a joke, because I don't know if we good or not, because you will pop out with, I'm not a girl. And you do that, and nobody disagreed. However, back with the men's, Maurice gonna ask Marceau, are you and Chris still cool after you got into it? And Marceau gonna say, we didn't really get into it. Yes, you did. Asking him about his suspended license. and acting like he needs to show up and answer to you. You don't even answer to your clients. That's why none of your jobs are done. Oh, God. He's still saying, oh, I thought we were getting into business together. Chris said, I can't believe you thought I was going to come to you and tell you about my license. And Marceau said, well, I was thinking. And Chris said, I'm going to stop you right there. That's your problem. Why would you think that? Marceau's brain is a lot of his problem. Oh, he said, well, you've done a whole bunch of projects and you ain't never contacted me about nothing. So why would I be running stuff about you? Now Maurice gonna try to back up his brother. Well, last year he was planning to do business with you. Well, it's this year. However, they kind of apologize that we're gonna offend each other, but we actually care and we don't want to have another Martel and Marceau situation. Back with the women's, the Espo says, you know what? I'm going to apologize for my low blow. You took low blows. I took low blows. So Tisha said, well, what about when you talked about my husband? Was that a low blow? She said, that was a real moment. You called me out my name and you're trying to discredit me as I'm rebuilding my life. You literally discredit me as a woman and try to call me a hoe. I didn't say none of the stuff I could have said about you as a woman. Come on, Espo. Tell it all. You the Espo, expose. Expose. Destiny said, bring it. Let's get it out here on the water. You feeling froggy? Jump. You ain't got nothing to say about her as a woman. I just don't want to do you. Girl, boom. She said, I have apologized for many things that have offended and hurt you. I'm apologized out. But child, that was the boat shit. Now we at dinner. So we open with Kimmy asking, what y'all do on y'all boat? And the guy said, we actually mended our relationships and made some progress. Me and Fletcher cool now. Child, Nell started clapping. Marceau said, not you so much, just the men. So Marceau's giving this we got past it speech, and Destiny said, yeah, but we got to get past it. And you ain't never going to get past it with needy ass Espo. Now Ken gonna say, I'd like to see Marceau and Martel have a positive relationship. That ship sank. But they said they haven't canceled their truth. Kimmy, why do you keep harping on Martel's mistake? What did he do? So apparently Kimmy's bringing up that Martel laughed at Maurice when he got the DUI. Oh, God. I feel like everybody was laughing because you could afford an Uber. So there is something with this accident that they still are all like, okay, we just gonna let him tell this lie. And like everybody has that it's a lie on their face. I don't actually know what happened, nor do I care enough to dig. Y'all let me know in the comments. Like, did he get in an accident on the way home from a jump off? That's what it seemed like. Was she in the car? Child, the whole table laughing at Maurice. Kimmy ain't laughing, but everybody else is cracking the fuck up. The story is funny because you're not a good liar, Maurice. And everybody's like, it's like when Erica Jane said, Tom's car flipped over. It was snowing in Pasadena and he skidded off the road and I had to. It was like that where it's like, am I as an adult supposed to believe this? You skidded, you hit a car, you hit a tree, you hit an animal, you hit a pole, you hit a tree, you hit an animal. Oh. With a hussy in the car, a hussy in the car. What you forgetting to tell us that a hussy's in the car? Martel said, you hit a tree, you hit a pole, you hit an animal, and you say you don't remember you was drunk. Why is Martel, you was drinking and driving. Dismiss, bro. I mean, girl, just don't do it again. And child, that was the shit. So I'm going to see you soon for something.